Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the stream. How is everyone today? It is Monday, April 19th, 2021, and I am Darkside Phil, and I welcome you here to a full day of streaming. Exciting day of streaming. I've mixed things up for today purposely with the schedule. We're adjusting what originally I was going to do yesterday or today per yesterday's schedule. It's going to change today, just so everyone knows. And I'll talk about this in just a moment, so you know exactly what to expect today, because it's going to be different. But it's going to be good. I'm very excited for today. All right? So, hello, everyone. I got some good amount of stuff to talk about on the pre-stream today. Okay? Excuse me. Good amount of stuff to talk about on the pre-stream today. So, let's jump right into the schedule so that way we can get to the important stuff that I feel like I need to talk about, okay? First of all, today it's going to be the continuation of Divinity 2 here on my first gameplay stream. Today's the first day of a new streaming week per Twitch standards. If you guys will take a look at the top of your screens, you will notice that the leaderboards for cheering and sub-gifting have reset today. This always happens every Monday here on Twitch. So everything has been refreshed for the new week. And I hope that you all will join me for this new week, where there'll be a mix of new releases and ongoing playthroughs, which I'm about to explain right now. Okay? So, Divinity 2 today on the first stream. And here's what we're doing. We are exploring Driftwood. We have just arrived at Driftwood, only checked out the outside areas of it, and we're going to continue to explore. We've been given a task to find this certain dwarf who lives outside of town, but we're actually investigating town. We found a cellar that may or may not be full of loot, I hope. Considering that it was being defended by someone, I think there is loot down there. So we're going to find out. And then continue on. It should be a chill stream. Admittedly, Divinity 2 has gotten better now that we've left the intro area of the game, and I'm looking forward to a nice big stream of this today. Alright, guys? Very good. Tonight, I have changed the schedule. Originally, tonight, I was going to do Genshin Impact. However, yesterday, something very interesting happened. I basically busted my butt in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War in order to unlock the crossbow. It took a lot of work, but I unlocked it at the very last minute. And when I did, I played one game with it, because that's all I had time to, before the stream ended. And when I did that, oh my god, I was shocked. That crossbow is incredibly good. That thing was going nuts. I mean, the one match I played, I had like 30-something kills out of the 60 that our team got in that match. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what the hell? Everyone on the stream was blown away. Everyone's jaws dropped, because when you have the crossbow, you can maneuver as if you're holding like a small handgun. And it's crazy because you can run, you can dodge, you can maneuver around everything. It's not like holding a sniper rifle or another bigger gun, but you can get insta-kills easily. Very easily. So I was like, holy crap. Oh, Jasper, stop biting my toes. He's biting my toes. I was like, holy crap, I can't believe this. I can't believe this so good. Now he's biting my legs. Stop biting me. He wants my attention. Hey, you don't bite the toes. Stop that right now. Oh, he's biting my hand now. All right, Jasper. Obviously, you want attention. Let me go get a twisty before you bite my feet off. Hold on, everyone. Let me go get the twisty before he rips my foot off. Okay, here we go. Here's your twisty, see? Here's your twisty that you want to play with. Here we go. Here's the twisty. Alright, here we go. Alright. I got the twisty. Now I can stop biting my foot. So if he comes in here, I'll toss it. Alright, so anyway. The one match I played with the crossbow, I was so blown away. It's fast as shit. It's accurate. It's an instant kill. You get more ammo as you kill enemies. You pick up more ammo. It's just like, it's crazy good. So, I want to play with it again right away. Like, I don't want to wait a couple days to play with it. I want to try it. So I worked my ass off yesterday to unlock this damn thing. I want to actually use it. Okay? So I am. Tonight, the late stream is going to be more Call of Duty, Black Ops Cold War, and it's going to be the Crossbow Madness stream, where I just focus in on using the crossbow now that I've unlocked it, because it seems like it's going to be really fun. Okay? So, that's tonight. Now, You may say, oh, well, that means that Genshin's canceled. No, that's not true. I am going to do Genshin because here's the thing. As I told you guys yesterday, Genshin basically is about to go on the back burner. This week, we have 2 new releases, which I actually just purchased, and it just strapped me for cash, which we'll talk about in a moment. So, with these new releases and everything, we're going to have a good mix of new content, but that means that basically games that were kind of downtime games are not going to be played as much. In particular, Call of Duty. Like, seriously, Call of Duty is not going to be played as much as it has been. I know it's been played a lot recently. Here you go, buddy. Ready? Go! Got it. Nice. He ran and chased it. Call of Duty is going to basically only be played once or twice a week tops, and it's only going to be late streams. I don't think we're going to be doing daytime streams of Call of Duty anymore. Genshin basically is going to be taken out of the rotation, as well as Fall Guys. We're going to do one more Fall Guys stream this coming weekend to kind of give it a send-off, but I am not going to be playing these games regularly anymore because new releases are going to take priority starting this week, and then next week there's even more, okay? So being that this is kind of the last hurrah for these games being in the regular rotation, I figure let's play a little bit more. So I'm definitely looking forward to the crossbow tonight, and I hope that you guys will join me for that on the late stream, okay? Tomorrow is a new release day. Tomorrow is the release of MLB The Show 21, which I just pre-ordered and am loading on my PlayStation 5 right now, okay? So that starts tomorrow. I'm excited for this. Tomorrow's main stream, what we're going to do is create my character, bring him into the career mode, all right? And where'd you put the twisty? Oh, there it is. Do the career mode, get it started. See what happens. As you know, you start in the rookie leagues. You get drafted to a rookie team. You got to play on that team for a while, and it takes a while to get drafted to a major league team. So we're going to do all that intro stuff tomorrow, okay? So, I hope you all join me for that tomorrow, the start of the MLB silliness, okay? Tomorrow night, we'll do Genshin, all right? Originally, it was going to be Call of Duty on Tuesday night. Instead, we'll do Genshin. We'll swap the stream. So, Genshin Impact as a late-night Tuesday stream. And likely, that's going to be the final Genshin Impact stream for quite some time, all right? On Wednesday, excuse me, on Wednesday, it'll be the continuation of Danganronpa V3, which I'm actually really excited to jump into because we are in Chapter 3, and there's some interesting stuff going on. Maybe even some supernatural element. We discovered a new part of the school that looks like it's haunted. So, that's interesting. We're going to do that on Wednesday. And then Wednesday night, it's going to be more MLB. So we'll do MLB as the main stream on Tuesday, and then the Wednesday night stream. Excuse me. Then on Thursday, we'll swing back to Divinity 2 for a stream, okay? And the Thursday night stream will be Call of Duty. Why? Because there's a new season. Call of Duty apparently is launching a new season on Thursday that apparently will have new maps and unlocks. So we're going to do that on Thursday night, okay? Then on Friday, it's the big one. Friday is the big release that everyone is anticipating, everyone is waiting for, and everyone is excited for. Nier Replicant. Essentially a remake of Nier from over 10 years ago. A game which its original version never really hit Western shores. I guess there was another version of the game that it was released over here, but I never played it. And this will be interesting because it's a reimagining of the game. It's not supposedly like the original one. It's going to play more like Nier Automata. And this game is part of the plot line of Nier Automata. And I'm excited for that starting on Friday. Okay? Friday night is my weekly throwback session to Street Fighter. And then Saturday I'm off. Saturday is my day off this week. So next week will be a continuation of all these games. You'll see Nier Replicant as the main gameplay stream many times this next week. I'll likely mix in a stream or two of Danganronpa and Divinity 2 for variety's sake. Okay? Then at the very end of the month, we're going to have Returnal as well as Pokemon Snap premiering. So we've got a lot of new stuff. MLB The Show is going to become a late-night chill stream after its premiere. And then we're going to have Nier Replicant as a main gameplay stream. And then we're going to have new releases the week after. So that's what I mean. Like, with all this new stuff happening, what's going to happen is games... Once Returnal and Pokemon Snap comes out, that means Divinity 2 and Danganronpa V3 are going to graduate to being night streams. With those being night streams, there's no way I can consistently keep playing Genshin, and there's no way I can play Call of Duty as much, and there's no way I can keep playing Fall Guys. So all those games are going to change. Maybe once a week play Call of Duty, once a week play Street Fighter, you know, and then the other nights are going to be MLB, Divinity, Danganronpa, you see? So there you go. That's what's coming up, basically, for the rest of the month, and I hope that sounds good, okay? Now, also, once I get some time to do it, which I don't even know if I'll have time to do it this week or not, I'm going to sit down and set up on my forums your ability to nominate games for the upcoming Retro Replay event, because we did hit the subscriber goal in the month of April, and thank you to everyone who did subscribe and or gift subs to the channel this month. I appreciate that very much, and I hope that you will nominate games for this event. This event is going to be basically me replaying a game that I either played in 2015 or earlier. So you're talking a game playthrough that's roughly 5 to 6 years old or older, and I'm going to redo it in my modern style, direct capture, live streaming interactions with my viewers, face cam the whole time. It's going to be a very different experience than the original playthrough from years ago. Now, most games are eligible. I say most because I have to rule out some particular games. For example, a game like GTA 5 or a game like Skyrim. There's certain games that I've already said I'm going to replay those games during certain time frames. Both Skyrim and GTA 5 are games that I would like to replay before the next entry in those series releases. So, for example, next year if GTA 6 is announced, I'd like to play GTA 5 then as a refresher to get us back into the series. Same thing with Skyrim. Once the next Elder Scrolls is officially released for a release date, excuse me, not released, announced for a release date, that's when I would like to do a second run in Skyrim. You see? So there will be some games that are not eligible. Also, any game that was already replayed is not eligible, because I know some people will be like, oh, what about classic Grand Theft Autos? No, I already replayed those. So those are not eligible. It would have to be games from 2015 or earlier that I have not already replayed, and it's not a specific playthrough that I already have plans to do in the future. You see? So, don't worry, I will have all these criteria hashed out for you by the time that you guys are able to nominate stuff, okay? I will have it all hashed out for you so it'll all be clear. But anyway, yes, later this week, hopefully, if all goes according to plan, I'll have some time to set that up for you guys. And I can't wait to see what games you guys start nominating. Already people have thrown out so many ideas. Oh, I want to see Fallout New Vegas or Fallout 3. Oh, I want to see Metal Gear Solid. Oh, I want to see Never Dead. Yes, I'm not kidding. Someone actually said Never Dead. Some people had a good idea. They said, why don't you play Saints Row 2, which you never did a full playthrough of? It was one of your original games you made on YouTube, but you never did a full playthrough. You only did, like, highlights. That's an interesting idea. So many people have had many different ideas about this, and I'm very curious to see what people are excited for and what we would want to see. Keep in mind, it has to be a game that I've played before already. People are like, what about Tales of Vesperia? I never played Tales of Vesperia for YouTube, so the answer is no. Has to be a playthrough I've already done. It's a redo of a previous playthrough. Okay? So let's see what happens. Alright, let's see what happens. So anyway, that's coming up. Also keep in mind, when we do that event, which is going to likely be sometime in May, when things slow down with the new releases, because I think there's actually a whole week in May with nothing. It's also going to be a marathon day where I play that game that gets selected for about 6 to 7 hours to get a giant chunk into that playthrough before we put it into the regular schedule rotation. And, excuse me, there will be a live DSP Tries It during that marathon as well. Okay? So good stuff coming up. And I'll let you know when all that's set to go. I will let you know as soon as it's in place. Fair enough? Okay. Alright, so outside of that, guys, I have two important things that I want to talk about in relation to the streams this morning. Alright, the first is as follows. Alright, it has come to my attention that there are a group of people who are here as regulars on my streams, and when they're on my streams, they group together as a group of friends, and they joke around, and they act like they're supporters of my streams, and it's all well and good, and it's fine, and I like having them on the streams, alright? But sadly, these people then go other places, other streams, on the internet, and they decide to basically make fun of people who support me on my streams, alright? Now, you may think that's funny, and you may think that it's acceptable, alright? I'm going to tell you right now, it's reached the point that it's not, okay? Someone who comes to my stream and is a positive person, whether it's just someone who comes and chats, whether it's someone who interacts with me a lot on a daily basis, whether it's someone who just comes in here and doesn't talk at all but just kind of hangs out and says something every once in a while, whether it's a person who contributes a little, whether it's a person who contributes a lot to the stream, or whether it's someone who doesn't contribute at all. All right? Everyone is welcome on my streams. Okay? It's that simple. Everyone is welcome. And absolutely no one deserves to be harassed, made fun of, called names, insulted, stalked, or basically, be bullied and tortured by a bunch of scumbags on the internet because they watch a stream or they contribute to a stream. Period. It's against my mindset. I don't care what you think is acceptable or not on the internet. I'm telling you what's acceptable in my eyes. You want to come here and chill and hang out and be cool on the stream? Great, you're welcome. But if I find out that behind the scenes, you're being a fucking scumbag to the people who are regulars here on the stream, whether or not they're contributing or not, that's not even here or there, just people who, who come and want to be positive influence, I'm not going to have it anymore. All right? I'm seriously not going to fucking have it anymore. I've had enough of this shit. I'm 39 fucking years old. This is my business, and I'm not going to have people who think that they could just do this underhanded, disgusting shit. So, just so you guys know, I'm a busy guy. I don't have time to go fucking micromanage what people are doing behind the scenes or whatever. But people tell me about it all the time. I'll be minding my own business, and I'll get an email about someone who I don't even know who they are, and the email will be like, Phil, just so you know, this stream regular of yours who you talk to on a regular basis is actually an asshole. Here's several instances of this person on other channels and other places insulting your regular stream viewers, insulting people who contribute to your stream, basically laughing and saying that you're a scumbag. Take a look. And I look at it, I'm like, this is fucked up, man. And, it's one thing if they're only saying stuff about me. That's one thing. But to go and actually insult and or try to harass people online who have absolutely nothing to do with me just because they're a supporter of my streams is 1,000,000% unacceptable. And I'm not going to put up with it anymore. If I see it, you're fucking gone. And you're not coming back, and I had enough of this shit. You may notice Ratty Bag is gone. He's not coming back. He's a piece of shit. He fucking constantly insulting people who support my stream. I've seen tons of evidence of it now. And I can only ignore it for so long until I'm finally like, I've had enough of this guy. I've had enough of this fucking idiot being disgusting. He's all nice on my streams and tries to act like he's a good guy. And then behind the scenes, he's insulting, regular viewers. He's insulting contributors. He's being really gross. And he can go fuck himself. Because I don't want that kind of disgusting, toxic person on my stream. I've had enough. I'm laying down the law. All right? What you guys got to understand is as follows. The internet is not some kind of weird safe space where you can say and do whatever you want. Word gets out. I don't understand how people don't understand this. That like what you say and do on the internet will get out and people will know about it and they will spread it regardless of the fact if you think you're in a safe space or not. I couldn't tell you how many times things that you think are private or not. I couldn't tell you how many times, this is a place where everyone just sits here and says stuff like this. Nope. I'm telling you. And again, I don't seek this crap out at all. In fact, I don't want to be fucking involved in it. But when I'm provided, 10 pieces of evidence that someone is a scumbag to my viewers, I've just had enough. Okay? So I've had enough of this shit. Now, of course, that goes both ways. And I want everyone to understand something. The internet is not a safe space. If you're someone who's going to be a regular viewer or a regular contributor to a stream, I warn you guys every day that I stream about this. I say, do your best to protect your identity. Don't have your Twitch account linked to a Twitter account or a Facebook account or other places. Use different names. Make it so that someone can't go harass you somewhere else, because if they can, they will, because these people are losers, right? And I also say be careful about, any kind of information, personal information you give out to people. I always recommend close your open DMs here on Twitch. The internet is not a safe spot. So, you could only go so far to protect yourself and do due diligence. And I hope that you're doing that if you're someone who uses the internet regularly. This is just a place where a lot of messed up people with messed up mindsets seem to thrive because of the anonymity of it, right? Like, if you systematically stalk someone in real life, you can get a restraining order. If someone systematically stalks you on the internet, usually there's nothing you can do about it at all. That's not cool. So I want you guys to look out for yourselves, so that you don't get hurt, you don't get stalked by these people. But On the flip side, if you're someone who comes to my streams and you really don't like me and you find great pleasure in watching my streams and acting like a nice guy, and then immediately when the stream's off, you go to someone else's stream or chat, and you're constantly razzing and riffing and insulting the regulars here. Oh, look, someone contributed to Phil's stream today. What a piece of shit. No, you're out of here. I'm done with you. I'm fucking done. I'm tired of these people who are two-faced, and I'm tired of these people who think that they can get away with this shit. No one is going to be harassed as a result of being a supporter of mine, period. I'm not going to put up with it. I don't care who you are. If I see it, you're out of here, man. I'm done with it. So, Ratty Bag, good luck in your future endeavors. Maybe you shouldn't have been a piece of garbage. Maybe you should have actually been a fucking honest person, and you shouldn't have been a scumbag. Don't ask to come back, because you're not. No level of apology is going to make up for the fact that the evidence that I've seen of you being a jerk. So, fuck off and don't come back. That simple. And trust me when I say this, he's the first of many. He's the first of many, because if I get more evidence of this shit, you're done. I have zero tolerance for this. Why you think it's okay to harass people online? It's just not. You're not going to harass my viewers. I've had enough. I have enough people on here who are regulars, who like what I do, who want to be here on a regular basis, who want to support me. We have a nice community we've built. That community's not going to be, having facetious people who, oh yeah, I love Phil, and then behind the scenes, what a piece of shit, people who support him are bad. Fuck off. I don't have time for this shit. I don't. Your immature shit is done. It's over as of today. Okay? That simple. Alright? It's that simple. So that's number one. And I hope, by the way, if you are regular to my streams, I hope that you guys know now that I'm not going to have this tolerance for this, so don't worry. If you think that, if anyone is getting harassed by someone or whatever, I'm going to take care of it. I'm not going to put up with this nonsense anymore. I'm fucking done with it. It just really gets my goat when this kind of stuff happens. People who are nice, positive, fun, people, they come here to enjoy the content. They want to be part of a positive community, and they got to get fucking harassed online by a bunch of fucking scumbag nobodies. It ain't happening anymore. Okay? So there you go. That's number one. I'm laying down the law, and I'm gonna make sure everyone knows about this moving forward, because I had enough of this shit. Okay? Now, ladies and gentlemen, normally I would do a giant plug segment. I'm not doing that today. Here's why. Guys, I'm going to be very honest with everyone. I need to appeal to you for some help. I need some help raising tips this week. In particular, I basically need tips, raising tips this week and for the rest of the month, and I'm going to tell you why. So, as I told you a day or two ago, I don't remember if it was yesterday or the day before or whatever, basically my tax situation is done with. What I mean by that is, I was able to pay enough to my tax guy. I was able to pay what I owed for my first quarter tax payments. I was able to pay everything, get the taxes filed. They're now filed. All right. The problem is, to do that, I had to pay my deficit. If you don't know what that means, it basically means that for the first quarter of 2021, I needed to pay more money than I had already paid for taxes per the estimated tax plan that we had worked out. The deficit was not pretty. All right. It was a lot of money. And so I had the money. Thank God I had the money, especially because you guys have been extra supportive recently with things like my birthday and stuff that just passed. I had the money to pay the government to catch up, and now basically what's going to happen is they're going to take back taxes that I owe from 2020, and they're going to roll it into my new well, it's really not a new back tax plan. It already exists for the back taxes I've owed for the previous years. They're basically just going to roll that balance into the new one, and all that's fine, okay? The problem is this. Now that the tax stuff is fixed with the federal government, now I need to pay everything else for the rest of the month, all right? I need to actually make my back taxes payment this month. I actually need to pay for my electricity and utilities. I actually have to pay for my health insurance. I have to pay my phone bill. In addition to all of that, this month, I have to pay my quarterly state tax payment, which is not pretty. My quarterly state tax payment was very high in January. I'm hoping it's not nearly as high this month. I don't think it will be, but yeah, I never know. I don't know till I calculate it, and I haven't calculated it yet. So essentially, I've got all of this stuff that's now coming due by the end of the month. Normally, I'd be in a fine position to do it. The problem is I just had to drop a ton of money to the federal government to pay off what I owed them for my first quarter tax payment so that they would do the back taxes and roll it into my existing plan. If I didn't do that, they wouldn't have done it. They basically would have said, oh, it's all due. We don't care. okay? So basically, I'm in a shitty situation right now where, again, yes, I know, again, I'm in a situation where I'm strapped for cash. Like, no lie, the only income I'm going to have, I am getting paid by YouTube by the end of this week. That money immediately is going to have to go to bills and or to pay for my state taxes, and then I have no other money. None. Zero. So I am reliant on you guys for tips this week. Whatever I raise in tips is essentially the money that I have to pay bills, to do essentials like grocery shopping and stuff. That's it. All my money is gone. Like, my bank account went to almost zero, and it's going to be zero within a day or two when these other bills clear. And it sucks because normally I have flexibility. No lie. Normally I have, you know, a good amount of flexibility around this time of month after I get paid by Twitch. And this month it went away because I had to pay that quarterly tax payment to the government. And it sucks. It effing sucks. I don't like this at all. But this is the life that I live. Things will get better long term because, as I told you guys, here's the good news. As long as everything keeps as is going right now with my job and everything here, and everything, I make as much money as I'm doing, and no horrible things happen behind the scenes, hopefully nothing that costs a lot of money, no disasters, no health issues, nothing like that. As long as nothing like that happens, all right, this year will be the first year in like 4 or 5 years that I'm actually able to pay all my federal taxes correctly, which means next year I will not owe any giant payment to the government come April. I will not have any back taxes that I need to roll into a back tax plan. I will avoid all of this next year for the first time in many, many years. It'll be in a much better position. Okay? Now, here's the thing. In previous years, I held marathon events, special fundraiser events here on Twitch around this time of year almost every single year. Last year was the exception. The reason I didn't do it last year is because we had the vest streak. The vest streak was insane. I was making so much money via tips last year that it was out of control, and I didn't really have any issues financially. This year, there is no vest streak. You guys are supportive, and I hit the vest every once in a while, the vest goal, but it's not consistent. So it's not, nothing like how it was last year, all right? Normally I would do like a special fundraiser, marathon stream, please help. I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to disrupt our schedule. I don't want to have to disrupt the new releases coming out this week. I just want to have a nice, fun streaming times with you here and act like, everything's normal. But I have to appeal to you because I need help with tips badly right now. Like, I understand cheering, subbing is great. And by the way, we hit the sub goal. We're good for the month. I need help directly with tips. If you are going to help me this month with any contributions between now and the end of April, I strongly urge you, please tip me. I mean it. Like, if I don't get good tips every single day, I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills for this end of the month. Just being honest. It's a bad situation where I had to dump a ton of money to the feds, and now I got all this shit coming due, and I'm like, this sucks. All right? It sucks because I don't have consistency in my income. I don't know what I'm going to make on a daily basis, so I can't plot out anything. You know what I mean? Like, it's very hard for me to plot out what I'm going to make and what's going to be spent on what. So, ladies and gentlemen, contributions are not mandatory. Contributions are not expected. But if you like the streams, if you like me, if you support me, if you like the content I put out there, and you want to help me out, please tip me. Now, you guys already know that you need to have a verified PayPal account to tip me because of the incredible amount of fraud that I've had against me. The verified PayPal account has worked. It has negated most of the issues that I've had with chargebacks and or malicious people who've been trying to screw me over, okay? So please, if you are going to tip me, please create a verified PayPal account to do so, all right? And also, if you are a regular tipper, you may want to create a code word that you can use when you tip me. What that means is when you tip me, include a code or a phrase in that tip that I can recognize to know that it's always you, so that I know that it's not someone trying to impersonate you or a faker who's going to try to screw me over, and it allows me to streamline the streams where I can just count that tip immediately and give you a shout out rather than have to go verify it on PayPal and see if it's real. You see what I'm saying? So, thank you in advance. I'm going to be mentioning this on literally every stream for the rest of the month because I have to. I mean, that's the situation I'm in right now. Financially, I am completely strapped, and I need as much support as possible via tips. If you've been waiting or saving up for a special event, like, oh, I'm going to help Phil with tips when this playthrough starts or whatever, I would say, hey, please, if you could support, please do. Now is the time. I need that help now to get through these bills coming up in the next, couple of weeks, and to get into May and not be behind on shit. Because that would be the worst. If I don't pay, for example, if I don't pay my state taxes this month, what happens is immediately they start hitting me with these fees, late fees, and they become exponential, essentially, if I don't pay right away. I don't want that to happen. Or I'm trying to stay in a good position. I've been paying all my taxes for the last year. I don't want to go back 10 steps now. But, the thing is, this year, it looks like we should be good for taxes. It just sucks. The last few years, I haven't been able to adjust my payments properly, and I've always been underpaying. Should be good this coming year. But this year is just hopefully the last time I'm in this shitty situation. Okay? Fair enough? That's it. I really don't want to talk too much about any more of that. I just want to say, if you can't tip me, please do. Please help. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. I don't really want to go further into it and talk about it constantly. All right? All right. Fair enough? Okay. Let's continue. Let's get to shout-outs. Well, actually, I take it back. I have one news story I want to talk about today, and it's actually good news. Rare good news is very welcomed around here. And the rare good news is as follows, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not aware, Sony, after getting tons of flack over the last 2 to 3 weeks since they announced that they would be closing the digital stores for PlayStation 3, PlayStation Vita, and PlayStation Portable, Sony has done a complete 180 decision, almost. Allow me to explain. It was announced this morning by Sony CEO Jim Ryan, I think his name is. They are not going to close the PlayStation 3 store. They are not going to close the PlayStation Vita store. They've listened directly to the feedback of the fans. They now understand how important it is to have a legacy, a legacy source for these older games, and that we don't want to have to buy concrete physical versions of these games and have to try to play them on a legacy console. We want to be able to keep buying these games digitally and playing them on older consoles. All right? And they've said, that is it. We've listened directly. We are not going to get rid of the PlayStation 3 store, and we are not going to get rid of the PlayStation Vita store. Thank you for your feedback. We listened to the consumers, and we're doing the right thing. We've gone back on our decision. However, if you have a PlayStation Portable, you're still fucked because we're getting rid of that store anyway. We just don't give a shit. So anyway, yeah. So that's good news. That's good news, I feel. Because as I told you guys, every once in a while, we do an old playthrough, or we do a marathon of older games. Hell, every year we do a Halloween marathon. And almost every single year, that entails me going and buying older games from PlayStation Network to play on my PS3. We just did Dino Crisis and stuff, These are games that I regularly play them. What if you wanted to see me go back and play the original Metal Gear Solid? Well, I can only play it on PS3, right? You see? So the good news is, these marketplaces are not going away anymore, and that's a good thing. Sony essentially saying, all right, we understand now that even if it may not be the most profitable thing that we can possibly do to maintain these stores, because not everyone's using them on an active daily basis, since the fans want them and then they love our older games, we have decided to go ahead and keep these running. Now, I would not be shocked at all if this was because the CEO of Sony, Jim Ryan, was completely slammed in the public eye over the last 2 to 3 weeks. Like, this guy was maligned. I'm not kidding. I saw them pulling up quotes that this guy said, like, 5-6 years ago. Stuff like, oh, who would want to play a PlayStation 1 game in 2015 or something like that. Like, they basically took everything he ever said, both in and out of context, to make him look like a douchebag. So he probably has been looking at the internet the last 2 weeks. He's like, oh my God, I got destroyed. This is all coming down on me because of this decision we made. My God, I look so bad. So I would not be shocked if that was a major part of it, that basically he just got, really, I'm sure he was probably like bombarded with negative press, negative attention in the last couple of weeks, even though it probably wasn't ultimately his decision. It probably was a group decision of the management in the company. I'm sure, even though he's the CEO, it doesn't mean that he ultimately controls everything in there. Probably they did some kind of a financial analysis. What makes us money, what doesn't. You know, what would be the repercussions of cutting this versus cutting this? And they probably looked at these stores and said, man, we really don't do a lot of business on these anymore. You know, compared to, we can invest the money that we're putting into maintaining these stores into something else that would be much better for the common consumer and much more highly used. But the problem with those kind of decisions is, did they ask anyone who actually is a consumer, or did they only look at it from a management perspective? And ultimately, that's the real problem, is a lot of these people who are in, excuse me, I drank water, went the wrong way. Oh my God, the water went down my windpipe. Oh, fuck. Son of a bitch. Jesus, that was bad. It's still tickling my throat, by the way. Ugh. Anyway. The point I was making is, these people who are in power, these people who are in management positions, don't always try to see from the perspective of the consumer. Even though, okay, it doesn't get a lot of use. Okay, it doesn't make us a lot of money. But there's sentimental value. You know, maintaining a legacy library of games that you don't necessarily want to have to download right away on your console. And, you know, who knows, maybe one day you're in a mood to play a classic game and you start browsing the old store of PlayStation 1 games and you'll find a gem from the past that you didn't even know existed. Now, do you want to have to run out and buy a physical copy and play it on a fucking physical PS1? Or do you just want to download it to your PS3 right away? You see? There's value there. There's nostalgic value. There's intrinsic value to the consumer who's been around the block and maybe grew up in that era and knows of those games. And that's what Sony was missing. They were only looking from a management or financial perspective, and they weren't looking from basically the feel-good perspective of the consumer. You know what I'm saying? So all that being said, this is good news. I'm glad Sony listened to the consumers directly, and, you know, thank goodness that, you know, they did that, and they've shown that they're a company that listens and are willing to work with the consumer and not just say, we know better than you. If you don't like it, tough. Unless you own a PSP, because that store's still going away. They don't care about you. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the news story for the day. I really don't have much else. So let's go ahead and let us do shout-outs for those who've contributed. All right? All right. Let's see here. All right, so overnight we had a couple cheers from Phantasy Star PG. His first cheer said, "There's been saying for years, when you shop anywhere, stores intentionally will make you pay more for name brand items to make that store brand prices more enticing. Walmart's the only retail store I've seen that has low prices on name brand items." I don't know if that's true. I think what you're referencing is store brand or generic brand items versus the name brand. So, for example, you go to the store and you want to buy yellow mustard, right? Maybe you want to make yourself a nice salami sandwich, or maybe you want to have a hot dog with mustard, right? So you go to buy yellow mustard, and there's usually 3 brands. There's a high-end name brand that you probably never heard of that costs a ridiculous amount of money for no reason. There's a standard name brand, like I would say like French's or something like that would be considered a standard name brand. It's a company you've been around the block, you know who they are, they make a quality product, and usually they have a decent price, right? And then, excuse me, there'll be like a third brand that's like a generic. And if you're not familiar with the store you're in, you may not even understand what that brand is. So I'll give you an example. My local grocery store is Fred Meyer, or the other local grocery store is Safeway, okay? Fred Meyer generic it's Kroger brand, because Kroger is the parent company that owns them. And Safeway, oh man, it's the parent company of them is Albertsons. But man, I can't remember the name of the generic products that they have at Safeway. But essentially what it is they sell their own brand of product. And in some cases, that brand of product is just as good as the name brand. In other cases, it's definitely inferior. Like I could tell you that, in particular, certain meats and things, if you buy the name brand versus the generic is like more lower quality, while the name brand maybe has a little bit more flavor to it, maybe it has a little bit more ingredients to make more seasonings in it, you know what I mean? But that's why you're paying a little bit more, because you're paying for a slightly higher grade product. Now, in general, what Phantasy Star is saying is correct. Definitely a name brand product is more expensive. But what I've seen is that it's hit or miss. Sometimes it could be very much more expensive than the generic. Really, like it could be like twice as expensive. You're like, damn, that's like a huge price difference. But other times what I've noticed is the generic is kind of crappy. So if you're going to get, for example, here's a perfect example. Facial tissues, right? You blow your nose. If you get generic facial tissues, they're usually terrible. They're like tissue paper. They fall apart. They're shitty. They rip. You know, they're not very good. They're cheap, but they suck ass. If you spend a tiny bit more money on a name brand facial tissue like Kleenex, that's a thicker thing. It's softer on your nose. You know, more durable. So it really depends on the product, of course. Someone SC Charger says, yeah, generic chips are terrible. Yeah, if you like the store brand chips, you'll probably like the base level, thing. You buy the name brand, you're going to get more flavor, right? That's what I mean. So what Phantasy Star is saying is that these stores are purposely jacking up the prices in order to make you buy the generic so they'll make money. Because keep in mind, if you buy the Kroger brand product at a store that's owned by the parent company Kroger, they're making money not only on the sale of the product, but also they made the product, so they're making profit on it. You see, it's like double profit for them. When they sell a name brand product, they're making money on the resale because they bought the product, stocked it, and sold it. But if it's a product their own company made, they actually make more money on it overall. So I understand what he's saying. However, that is not necessarily true. What you got to understand is it's probably cheaper for a store to stock its own product than to buy product from somewhere else and have it logistically shipped to the store, stocked in the store. You see what I'm saying? If you own the company that makes, I don't know, cereal, and you make the cereal and you yourself ship it to your store and stock it, it's cheaper than buying that cereal from another company and having to ship it further and stock it in a different way. So innately, when you buy a generic, that generic is cheaper because it didn't cost as much because it was all within the company. It was the same logistics process. You know what I mean? Now, Phantasy Star calls out Walmart and says, well, Walmart seems to have name brands for cheaper. You're right. But do you want to know why Walmart gets name brands for cheaper? Because Walmart is now so big. They're such a giant conglomerate grocery store chain. They have essentially bought out the supply chain for many name brand companies. What I mean by that is they're so big and they're so all over the place, these Walmarts, that they have exclusive partnerships with many of these name brand companies to get their products for cheaper because they buy so much in bulk. See what I mean? They're so big, they buy more ketchup, they buy more mustard, they buy more cereal than anyone else who buys that product. And because of that, they're able to get those products for cheaper, and therefore they can sell them more cheaply. And of course, a lot of people have issue with that because they say that's all well and good because you get the cheapest prices. But by the way, if you haven't noticed, as Walmart has expanded in the United States, they have absolutely destroyed the mom and pop store. How often do you see a local grocery store, a local variety store? Most of them are gone because Walmart bought up all these exclusive partnerships and were able to always get the products cheaper than everyone else. And therefore, everyone else went out of business. The only other places that are able to hang are mid to large range places. You know, I would think like Target, right? They have groceries in their store. Dedicated grocery stores like Stop and Shop or A&P or Safeway or Fred Meyer, Kroger, Albertsons, that kind of stuff, right? But ultimately, Walmart is always cheaper because they have the better partnerships, you know? So it kind of sucks because if you don't like Walmart, you don't like going in there and fighting with 5 million people who are all in there to get the lowest price. If you don't like the fact that Walmart destroyed all your local businesses and you're kind of forced to shop there, you know what I mean? Like, are there really many options for the same price range? And the answer is no, there's not. Okay? Now, what Phantasy Star PG is suggesting is that stores are purposely driving up the prices of name brand products so you'll buy their generics and they'll make more money. I mean, that could be happening. There absolutely could be happening. But I don't know if there's any concrete evidence. I mean, that's kind of a conspiracy theory. I don't know if there's actual concrete evidence of that ever happening or anyone outright doing that versus it just costs way more to stock those name brand products because they're not made in-house, you see? But it could be. It could be that they want to make more money. You know, if you're you're looking at that container of yellow mustard. The generic is $1.50. The name brand is $2.75, and the high-end gourmet is $5. What are you probably going to grab? You're probably going to grab the generic. Even if it doesn't taste as good as the other two, that's a big price difference, and that's a savings in your pocket, right? Fair enough. All right, that was a long discussion. Moving on, Phantasy Star PG cheered and said, what do you think of Hasbro now owning Power Rangers? And now they're making a shared movie universe with Transformers and G.I. Joe with the next Power Rangers movie reboot. The success of Godzilla vs. Kong shows that there's still a place for Japanese-style movies, but they need to be more mature and done right. I don't really care. I'm 39 years old. I don't really care about the Power Rangers. I'm just going to be honest with you here, Phantasy Star. I did see the latest Power Rangers movie. I thought it was just okay. I did not find it great. So I kind of shrug and say, meh, I'm happy that it existed, but I didn't, you know what I mean? I wasn't blown away, by it or anything. And I think that was kind of the common consensus because I don't think it made like tons of money or anything. But I don't really think I care about Power Rangers anymore. You know, I'm getting a little up there in age where may not be something that concerns me that much. I'm just saying. What does my age have to do with Power Rangers? Well, I don't really think too much about this pop culture stuff anymore. That's just what I'm saying is, like, I'm not into this mainstream pop culture stuff that usually is made for kids. I don't care about G.I. Joe, Transformers. I don't care about X-Men. You know, like, I don't really care about any of that stuff that I was into when I was a kid anymore. I kind of don't really follow it nor care about it. I'm not reading comic books anymore, you know? I'm just saying. Okay, let's continue. Timbo Slice cheered, and this still was before the stream started. He said, Psychonauts 2 is playable internally. It's coming later this year, according to Double Fine. I'll believe it when I see it. Timbo Slice cheered again. Now, this is actually when the stream was starting, so this will count for the leaderboard. He says, Thursday's Call of Duty will be fun because the new season starts that day. We'll unlock 2 brand new maps. Yes, so I'm playing Call of Duty tonight, and then the next time I'm going to play it is Thursday night, okay? And that is because there is a new season launching on Thursday, and I'm interested in seeing the new maps and new unlocks and things that are in the game. Of course, I'll probably go out and go like crazy with the crossbow. We'll see. But yeah, that's going to be Thursday night. Thank you, Timbo, for the heads up. Barrel Shroud did a 50-bit cheer. He says, will mods be allowed to participate in festivities tomorrow, or will there be a mandatory drug testing? What on earth are you talking about? Does anyone have any idea what Barrel Shroud is talking about? What festivities are tomorrow? Tomorrow is the release of MLB, and then it's Genshin Impact. What on earth is he talking about? You completely lost me. Like, I think the joke doesn't make sense because I don't understand what he's referencing. Oh, tomorrow's 420? Oh my god, I had no idea. I had absolutely no idea tomorrow was 420. All right. Well, tomorrow, hey, listen. Far be it from me to tell anyone what they do in the comfort of their own homes. If you want to toke up tomorrow, you're well to do it. Just be aware that the same rules will apply on my streams as always. Just because you're high as hell doesn't mean that you can come on the stream and act like a jackass. I already laid down the law earlier on this very pre-stream and explained harassment of viewers and supporters of this stream is not allowed. And if I find out about it, you're out of here. So just be forewarned, if you come in here acting like a moron tomorrow because you're high as a kite, you're gonna be held accountable for your actions. I don't want to hear, oh man, but I'm high and I'm eating Funyuns. Yeah, but you're still an asshole. Okay. Grand Apple Slush cheered. He says, what upcoming game are you most excited to stream and play? Of games that are actually like scheduled and have dates? It's a tough one. I would say Resident Evil 8, but I don't know what this game's going to be, man. This game doesn't seem like Resident Evil to me. I could be wrong, but it seems like they're really going off the path of normality, and they're doing something way different with this one. I don't know if I like it. Being honest, I don't know if I like it or not. I'm going to reserve judgment until I actually play the finished product, but I don't know. I would say the games I'm most hyped for, sadly, they don't have release dates or anything. Like, I'm excited for the new God of War. We have no idea when it's coming out. We have no information about it. I'm excited for the new Horizon. We don't know when it's coming out. We have no new information about it. You see my point? Like, the games that I'm most hyped for, there's, like, nothing about them. You know? Am I excited for the Mass Effect trilogy next month? Of course I am. I love the Mass Effect original trilogy. I can't wait to replay 1 and 3. But am I super hyped for it? No. I mean, I've played those games before. I know what to expect. You know, even though the game will run much better, especially Mass Effect 1, I'm very excited to play Mass Effect 1 with good modern graphics and an interface that actually works. It doesn't crash. It doesn't have terrible frame rate issues. That was a major problem with the original game. I can't wait to play it and have a good experience with it that's not annoying. So, I'm excited for that, but am I hyped for it? No. So I guess we'll see what happens, all right? But that's my answer. Snow Carl Tree said, do you think your obsession about schedules has gone too far? Yes. In fact, I am now going to rename myself Calendar Man because I'm all about the schedule and the calendar scheduling. But I don't think anyone's ever done that before. So I'm going to take that name for myself and make sure that I trademark it. Shirtless Mofo did 100-bit cheers. That maybe you have an innate talent to handle crossbows and the weapon is not incredible. Don't discredit them skills. No, I think it's overpowered as shit. That one game, it was insane. Every person, as soon as I saw them, I was able to draw and fire instantly and get an instant kill. And it reloads quickly. You could run and grab the arrows off the ground, so it's basically infinite ammo. It was just insane. Ridiculous. Okay. Erica Jolie did 100-bit cheers at afternoon. Hope you've been well. Let's kick ass. Thank you, Erica Jolie. Good to see you. Snow Carl Charity says, to inspire new content, can we please get a week to have a food and gaming talk ban so you're forced to innovate and introduce new segments? No. IRS Audit Agent did a 300-bit cheer. Gee, thank you, IRS Audit Agent, for a 300-bit cheer. I don't know why you think it's funny to joke about IRS audits and everything, but obviously this person is, you know, because the taxes have been bothering me so much recently. This is why they're doing this, of course. Of course. Okay. Jack Elise gifted a tier 2 sub to Majin Buu. Congratulations, Majin Buu, and thank you, Jack Elise, for the tier 2 sub. I appreciate that. Snorlax Judy says, my Northern Lights seeds finally broke soil and sprouted. Did you ever get into gardening? Feels good to see your efforts attribute to positivity like a thriving plant. Did I ever get into gardening? No. I did have houseplants at one point many years ago. Was it 4 years ago now? They were fun to have, except because I didn't really have a lot of light in the house, they didn't really survive that well. I had a snake plant upstairs that died because there wasn't enough sun in the hallway. I had a spider plant downstairs that, of all things, got infested with spiders. Isn't that funny? And then I did have a dragon tree, but it wasn't doing well. Again, it didn't seem to have enough light during certain times of the year. So they didn't really do so well. After I had them for about a year and a half, and then I got rid of them. So, but outside of that, my parents used to grow fruits and things in the yard. At one point they were growing these strawberries in the yard. They were insanely huge. I'm talking strawberries as big as your fist. I'm not even exaggerating. They pulled a strawberry out of the ground. How the hell did it grow that big? I've never seen strawberries that big in my life. They were growing these giant mutant strawberries. Yes, Lunaba. Basically what happened was, in my spider plant, a spider must have laid eggs. And one day I walk up to the plant. I'm like, why does it look like there's like dust all over it or something? I looked really close. It was microscopic spider webs. There were, I'm not kidding you, hundreds, if not more, of tiny baby spiders crawling in the plant through these tiny little spider webs they had created. Luckily, they hadn't left the plant yet, so I just grabbed it, went to the garage, and sprayed the fuck out of it with bug spray. And that was the end of that. Oh, holy shit, that was bad. Okay. Jad F is our first tipper of the day. Tipped me $4.20 and said, screw Mr. Bills and taxes and Miss Deficit. And all my homies hate them. Spend it on blackjack and hookers. I'm not spending it on blackjack and hookers. Trust me, JDF. This is going to pay, or JadF, this is going to pay bills. I need support with tips to pay bills this week. And so this is going to help. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. Okay. First tip of the day. The Big Goat also tipped me $2. Says, here's for your next pair of jeans. Luckily, I don't need jeans. I have tons of pairs. I have 3 pairs, so. Timbo Slice Cheese said, I refuse to shop at Walmart. Our stores here are always nasty and dirty and not great customer attitudes. I prefer Midwest chain Myers, which is pretty much a version of Fred Meyers. I mean, yeah. The thing with Walmart is when you have the cheapest prices, they skimp on everything else. They skimp on training their employees. They skimp on the stores. Everything's low quality El Cheapo, right? So there you go. All right, Minoy247 resubscribed for 2 months. Thank you for the 2-month resub. He said, working at Albertsons, I can tell you they raise prices to put a sale on it, so it's a ruse to make you feel like you're paying less than retail. Makes sense. That used to happen to me when I worked at Circus City. So I'd be working at Circus City in the computer department, and then it would be like, Christmas sale. Oh, you know, but it would be like, this hard drive is on sale. But it's like, wait a minute. No, it's not. You're selling it for the regular price. All they did is they jacked up the regular price to say it was more expensive than it really was. So let's say the hard drive was normally $69.99, right? What they would say is, oh, sale, $69.99, normal price $99.99. But it's not. It's always $69.99. They would always do that. And I always thought that was very underhanded the way they did that. So yes, they do that stuff. 672 has to be $6.72. Thank you, sir. Let's get that on the leaderboard. Biggest tip of the day so far. I appreciate that. Okay. He says, if you ran your own store, what would you name it? I'd call it Hate and Save or Big Lot Burnells. Let's see. I don't know. DSP Mart? Nothing with hate. You can't do anything with hate in 2021. Any time anyone says the word hate, it's immediately taken as some really nasty, racist or something thing. You can't do that. It have to be something different. The King of Values. There you go. The King of Values. It would be me with a crown on my head smiling. I'm the King of Great Values. Come to my store for the best prices. There you go. The King of Values. I like that, actually. Babadook B has resubscribed for 5 months. Thank you, Babadook B. I appreciate that. Timbo Slice just cheered. He says, as someone just pointed out in chat, a lot of the off-name brands are made by the same brand companies, but with less quality grade with brand label, not name brand. What? You have lost me. Officially, I have no idea what you just said. 100%, I have no clue what that meant. Anyway, let's continue. Minoy did a 100-bit cheer and says, I'm high as hell right now, Phil. Well, good for you. Congrats. That Beaver Eats Taco Bell cheers to any concerns you'll get so far behind your taxes the government will let you defer future taxes. No, because I am actively paying them every month. It's not like, for example, here's what happens. If you are someone who's not paying taxes at all, you're so far behind, you're not paying taxes, okay? The government obviously is going to kill your ass. They're going to slam you. They're going to hit you with fees. They're going to get you in jail and everything. If you're making an honest effort to pay taxes and you're showing, look, here's what's out, here's what I'm paying or whatever, they're fine. As long as you're trying to pay, they're okay with that. All right? So, for example, in this last year, I paid a ton of federal taxes. I didn't pay all my federal taxes because we didn't know how much I was going to owe, being that this is the first year where really I was able to do things properly with, insane amount of freaking revolving debt and shit in my name. And we also didn't know how much money I was going to make in the last year. It was all based on estimates or whatever. So I paid based on estimates, and it was underpaid. But what I owe is way less than it had been previous years. Previous years, I barely paid or didn't pay at all, right? And then we rolled that into a back tax plan. This year is significantly less. Significantly less. So, the attitude of the federal government is, as long as you're making improvements and you're doing better, we're okay with that. We'll work with you. So that's, like I said to my tax guy, I said, can we just roll this, what I owe, into my existing plan? He said, yeah, it's not going to be a problem at all. They're definitely going to do it because you've shown active effort. You're paying every month your back taxes as much as you can afford, and you're also paying the new taxes every month. So, you know, they're not going to have any issue with that. It would only be like if I decided I'm just going to not pay anything. Or the other flip side of that, lie and say you don't owe any taxes. That's the worst thing you could do. Don't file your taxes at all, or lie and say you don't owe taxes. That is the worst thing you could possibly do, because then the government's like, you were actively trying to hide what you owe to get out of it. That will get you in trouble. But if you're being very honest, if you're being very honest with the government about what you owe and just say, listen, I just couldn't afford it, or I didn't know how much it was, I didn't pay it all, can I put it into a back tax plan that I'll pay you over time? They're very willing to work with you. Okay? There you go. Snow Carl Cheered, says, why did you call 672 sir? I contributed hundreds of times and not a single Mr. or sir. I don't know. I don't know, sir. Luna but took me $4, says, your divinity builds are now so different from mine, I can't even give real advice on how to use them. But chill battle's coming up. Oh, yeah? Cool. I'm excited to see what happens today. You know, we're in totally new areas now, and, you know, this is good stuff. I'm, you know, exploring and discovering new stuff everywhere. It's neat to be able to see all that stuff just kind of around. I like it. I like it a lot. So hope you guys are enjoying. Hope you guys are enjoying as much as I am. All right. All right, folks. So, thank you very much. And it is time to do shout-outs for the top cheerers, which is going to be very short because it all reset today. It's Monday. 10th place is Grand Apple Slush, tied with Barrel Shroud, so technically it's a tie for 9. 8th place is That Beaver Eats Taco Bell. 7th place is a tie between Erica Jo. Actually, it's a four-way tie for 4th place between Fantasy Star PG, Shirtless Mofo, Erica Jolie, and Minoy Minoy. 3rd place is Snow Carl. 2nd place is Timbo Slice. And 1st place so far is IRS Agent. No gifted subs so far this week. Oh, wait, there is one. Jackalese did gift a sub this morning. Thank you, Jackalese, for the gifted sub. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Let's take a break. I'm going to use the restroom. You should use the restroom yourself or get a drink or a snack, whatever you'd like to do. When I come back, it is time for Divinity 2 here on the stream, my friends. All right? Thank you very much, and I shall see you all in a few minutes. See you then.